Now, I know that graphic is funny, but I want to talk about something serious. And I wanted to ask the question, have we gotten to the point where spanking, aka ass whippings, have become outdated as a source of punishment? Now, I've done research on this, and one of the main things I want y'all to know, especially as black women and men, ass whipping is connected to slavery. See, during slavery, the mothers would beat the children to protect them from getting beaten by the masters, because they would think that the slave master, most likely, would beat them even worse. And post-slavery, that was a method of punishment that became perfected over generations of generations. Now, I'm from Generation X, so I got my fair share growing up. But I can tell you this, there are 5 reasons why it is not effective. And I'm going to give them to you first, and then I'm going to break each one down. Number 1, it builds and feeds aggression within the child. Number 2, it creates shame. Number 3, it shifts the focus to the parent. And number 4, it loses effectiveness with time. And last but not least, older children and teens, it does not work. So let's talk about number 1. First and foremost, it models aggression. Usually the kid that's a bully at school or someone who's just out of order, usually they're kicking ass because they're getting their ass kicked at home. Okay? And it's not the right thing to do. There's so many other ways for us to discipline our children in this day and age. It's like PlayStation, you got sports, you got TV, you got tablet. You have so many other things that the children can be given as a reward for the good behavior and kept away for bad behavior. The second thing is it creates shame within the child. I mean, the child starts to think, you know what, maybe I'm bad. Maybe I'm just not a good kid. And then they act out in other areas of their lives. It is shown that spanking and beating on your kids is not effective in that way as well. Other ways, number 3, it shifts the blame to the parent. You know what it is? I can still remember getting my ass whipped and just being in the room like, I hate her, I hate her, I hate her, I wish she would die. Of course, you don't wish your mama would die, but you are sitting there like, yo, what have I done to deserve this kind of ass whipping? And it's just, it creates a feeling of depression and sadness within the child that can have very detrimental long-term effects. Number 4, it loses its effectiveness as the child gets older. You see, there's going to be a time, especially when you talk about sons, that you can't put your hands on your son no more. He's 14, 15 years old. You cannot beat him. Period. You physically cannot discipline him that way. And last but not least, it reckons back to the 4th. Teenagers and young adult children, you can't put your hands on them. It just doesn't work. Okay? So I would recommend that if you are a single mother, especially because I know how stressful it can be for the sisters, if you are out here trying to be a good parent, to find other ways of disciplining your children rather than putting your hands on them. Our black boys don't need to get beat down by the woman they consider a goddess. That's first and foremost. And number 2, I believe it has detrimental effects on men, and research has shown that as well. Young women as well. And then it's repeated because then they beat their kids. Okay? As a father 4, I can count on my hand how many times I might have spanked or physically disciplined my children. And it was only the firstborn. It's just because I didn't know any better and it was the first child. And my father or my stepfather never put hands on me. So, and I'll tell you the last thing, man, my greatest fear, especially for young black boys, is to get a mother who has a son who despises or hates black men. You know the kind. You know, your daddy ain't shit. You're ugly just like your dad. All that craziness, because those are the ones that'll beat the brakes off a kid. And I've seen it happen publicly. So I'm here to just tell you, man, find other ways to discipline your children. There's other things we can do that are more productive, more helpful, and less damaging and detrimental to our children. That's the word for the day, y'all. Black man can. Be safe.